What's going on, guys, and welcome to Formula 7 Racing. We are live here in Bahrain for a sprint race for the Tier 1 division. Not sure what happened there, but there we go. Let me jump into a party. What's going on, Jeffy? What's going on, Malk? I'm gonna call you Lever. Yeah, no problem. All good. So we have a couple of drivers on outlaps, one of them being Twitch Caxel. By me back, how we doing? So Jeffy Boy in the kick Sauber is out, but it is Daryl Slater and Banana. It is Banana that is out first in the Alpine. Let's see what he can do. Making your top 3 prediction. Without a Reese here, I think pole position goes to Be Right. I think P2 goes to Fanfinus, and I think P3 goes to Daryl Slater. But I think it will be very, very close at the top. I just want to point that out. And then buy me at the back. So, Banana in the Alpine, he does have Daryl Slater right on his tail. So, let's ride on board and see what the Scotsman can do. Remember, this is a sprint race. We do have 12 minutes of qualifying, the sprint, then 18 minutes qualifying, and the feature. So, on board with the Alpine driver out of the final chicane, and we are riding on board as we go down towards turn 1, down the DRS straight. That rear wing is open. There's a little bit of traffic in front of the Alpine driver, and then he slams on the brakes a little bit deep, but not too bad really in the grand scheme of things. Around turn 2 and 3, DRS enabled again, just feathering on that battery. Caxel is out as he's got that qualifying bump. The second one to serve, and it'll only be for the sprint race here in Bahrain. So into 5, 6 and 7. So he's got off very lucky there, Twitch Caxel, but he forgot about his qualifying ban, and then he had to serve one in Monaco and one in the sprint in Bahrain. I think that's a fair reflection of not serving your qualifying ban. I mean, Monaco in itself is, you don't want a qualifying ban in Monaco, do you? So Bananarama back onto the throttle out of turn 10, down towards turn 11. That rear wing back open once more. And then we can see Daryl Slater just behind him around turn 11 and slightly uphill towards the end of sector 2. And then around to turn 13. Daryl Slater's gone quicker than him in sector 2, out of turn 13. And then there's a big long straight here, no DRS. It is just all about the downforce in towards turn 14 and 15. Just hugging the apex, a little bit sluggish through there for the Scotsman. Down towards the line we go, on board with the Bananarama and the Alpine driver, a 1:28.9. But here comes Daryl Slater, a 1:28.0 for Daryl Slater in the Williams, who goes even quicker. And then a couple of the drivers coming to the line. Jeffy Boy, 1:28.8 in that kick Sauber. And then we do have a couple of drivers starting their out laps and some finishing their flying laps. So Welsh Sponge starting his flying lap. Brandon Ryan Diapavina, 1:27.8 for the Aston Martin driver. Purple sector 2 and 3. And then we do have a McLaren, I think that is Malk, who is coming around the final corner. The Dutchman down towards the line. He's going to be in the 1:29s, or 1:29.1 for Malk in the McLaren. The other Sauber driver, Bjorn McQueen, about to start his flying lap. And then we do have a Haas driver as well. I think that is Daki, the South Korean driver, on a lap down towards turn 14 and 15. I think he's slowed down. He has. So it will be the Ferrari behind Epic OJ, who's invalidated it. And now here comes GCL Maxi. So GCL Maxi coming out of the final chicane, down towards line. What can the Williams do on his debut here in Tier 1? A 1:28.7 up to P3, just behind his teammate. But then Fanfinus goes up to P2 in the Scuderia. And then I think that was Daki who just come through. We have a couple more drivers heading towards the line. Here comes Mitch down to the start-finish line, and Mitch will go 1:28.1 and up to P4 without any practice. Very well done. Banner Brandon will be next in the Mercedes AMG. Then we do have Pete Wright coming behind him, and the champion goes up to 1:27.6. And he is provisional pole for the sprint race. It is Aston 1-2 here in Bahrain. Banana going again to start another flying lap, and then we do have Malk on his way into the pit lane. What about Bjorn? Bjorn McQueen will be next in that kick Sauber to set a lap time. So Bjorn McQueen, what can he do? The other Dutchman up to P7, a 1:28.4 for Bjorn. Epic OJ in the Ferrari had to go again after invalidating it. He's got purple sector 2. A little slip and a slide out of turn 13 there, down towards turn 14 we go. These lap times getting very competitive, extremely close, and they'll get even closer as the final 5 minutes approaches. Here comes Epic OJ to the line. It's a 1:27.9. It's Aston 1-2, Ferrari 3-4. Tristan, what is your EA name? I just need to know what driver you are. Well, Sponge in the Racing Bull. Can he do anything to put himself in the mix? It is 3 tenths of a second separating the top 4. Oh, Asbill, absolutely, mate, yeah. Well, Sponge, 1:28.7 goes up to P10. Asbill, I will invite you. Just take the vacant seat. So, well, Sponge up to P10. What about Finnick in the Red Bull? And he did go up to P13, so every driver said a lap, apart from Buy Me Back. Can we see OJ? Absolutely, the Ferrari driver going up to P4. So at the moment, the Aston Martin drivers have locked out the front row, and the Ferraris have locked out the second row. Looking very strong and competitive. That's why B. Wright chose Ryan to get in that other Aston seat this evening. Evening, Nick. How are we, mate? Evening, my G. What's going on, Zora? Hopefully we'll see you in Realistic again soon. What's going on, Mark? So, Epic OJ going into the pit lane. I think Finnick... I hate it when it does that, when it won't let you toggle all the way around. So, Finnick going into the pit lane. Yeah, don't blame me, Nick. So 3.5 minutes remaining until we go into the sprint race. Well, Sponge on his way in the pit lane and Daryl Slater on his way out of it. Well, he's on his way down towards the line to start a flying lap. We'll ride on board with Daryl Slater as we go down towards turn 1. And he wants to be careful here, just hitting them brakes. And then around the apex in towards turn 2 and 3. And that was really smooth through there for Daryl Slater. Up towards turn 4 as he just closes that rear wing. It can catch you out a little bit with the rears. It always gets me how you get DRS from turn 3 to 4, but not from turn 13 to 14. And Daryl Slater, this looks smooth. He is on the mediums, though, so a lot of the drivers trying to save a set of softs potentially, because Daryl Slater is trying to qualify on mediums here. And having a look at the tyres, he is the only driver on the mediums trying to set a final lap, Daryl Slater. So maybe it's something that we don't know here for his strategy. Down towards turn 11, around turn 12 we go, and in towards turn 13. But I do think he'll lose a lot of time when the drivers come out on them softs. He went on softs for his first lap, and then he's come back out on mediums. Wow. Yeah, not sure he's thinking behind that, but he is in P5. Here comes Darrell Slater down towards the line on their medium compound tyres. Darrell Slater stays P5 and he's only just down on his lap time. All of the drivers rushing out by me back in that Red Bull. He's coming down towards turn 14. Is there anything that he can do? The Red Bull driver currently in P20, goes up to P17 in front of Daki and Asbil, who's yet to set a lap time. Daki is on an out lap. Darrell Slater, the only driver on a flying lap. They are all queuing up now for the final 1 minute of the Bahrain qualifying for your sprint race. So I think Daki will be the first driver of the final runners. So we'll ride on board with the South Korean driver. He's currently in P18. I know, mate. Nick, behind me back, loves it. Oh, and Daki screwed it into turn 1 and 2. And that is it. Daki for the sprint race will start in P18. Then we have an Aston Martin, that is Ryan Dipavine right behind him, so let's see what he can do. Up towards turn 4. And you can see the way he just shifts up and then slightly edges into the chicanes, but doesn't change gear. Asbil is out. He's not able to get out, so we start from P20. So the Aston Martin driver coming in towards turn 11. Sorry, turn 10. In towards turn 11. The checkered flag has been waved here in Bahrain. This is it. All of the drivers are on flying laps. Ryan Dipavine will be the first driver to cross the line. It's a purple sector 2. He's currently in P2 on the grid. His teammate is 1.5 tenths up on his time in front of him. Ryan heading down towards turn 14 and 15. Needs to get this right. Just slows down slightly as we're heading towards the final chicane. Down towards the line. Ryan Dipavine in the Aston Martin goes provisional pole by 6 tenths of a second. Banner Brandon will be next. Then comes Banner Brandon up to P10. Baradas goes up to P4 in the V-cab. Then we have the other half of Mitch down to the start-finish line. P2 for Mitch. All of the drivers are coming through. Lewis W. Fanfurness goes up to P2. Lewis W in the Alpine in P3. GCL Maxi goes up to P3 in the Williams on his debut. Malk up to P11. B right only P3. It's the other Aston Martin that is on pole position, but for how long? Epic OJ with an epic lap 7 1,000th in front of Ryan Dipavine. The kick Sabra Bjorn goes up to P8. So Epic OJ will start on pole position for this evening's sprint race. Ryan Dipavine in P2. Sorry guys, I need to do the app whilst this is going on. So we've got Epic OJ, Ryan Dipavine, Fanfurness, B right, GCL Max, I've not got him in. Lewis, Mitch, Bjorn, Finnick, Jeffy, Bradders, Welsh Sponge, Deco, Banana, Mount, Daki, Banter Brandon, Buy Me Back. Who was in P19? Caxel. He never shows up for some reason. Right. I need to find out what sort of GCL Maxi, what console he was on. It was PlayStation GCL-Maxi. Right, 1 second. I don't even know what country he's from, so I won't even be able to put that in yet. Alright. Alright. At least I can add him in anyway. So here we go for the sprint race in Bahrain. Ferrari, Aston, Ferrari, Aston. That is how we're going to start. There's going to be a lot of tactical play in the start of this sprint race, especially knowing that both the Aston Martins will have the inside line. I think it's the inside line. They're going to be both on the same side anyway. We know that. So the Ferraris are going to have to come across to cut both Astons off down towards turn 1. What's going on, Alvaro? So, this is it. This should be an absolute cracker of a race. Here we go. As they all begin to line up, Asbil will be the last one to the line. Anna Brandon and Daki. Oh, I thought they touched then. Malk, Banana, Darryl Slater, they are all lining up. Well Sponge, Bjorn doesn't line up properly. Bradders does, Jeffy, Finnick, Mitch, Lewis, Darryl Slater doesn't, Banana doesn't. Here we go. We are getting ready for round 7 here in Bahrain for the sprint race for Tier 1 at Formula 7 Racing. And it's lights out and away we go. We said the Ferraris needed to cut off the Astons, but how can he do that with an epic start like Ryan Dipavine just got? Fanfurness is coming through as well. Epic OJ is being overtaken by his teammate B right in the Aston Martin, trying to follow them through turn 2 and 3. A huge snap from Epic OJ as he tries to go back through on Fanfurness, and he opens up the door for the Aston Martin as we go down towards turn 3 and 4. The two Ferraris, and round the outside we go, and the Ferraris, the Scuderia's back in front of the green machine of B right. Lewis W in the Alpine watches on. GCL Maxi in the Williams. There is a yellow flag. That is a McLaren of Asbil at the back with Malk. Bradders goes down the inside of the Racing Bull on Maxi in the Williams. As they head down towards turn 10, there will be no DRS just yet. The Williams has the inside line. Maxi will have to back out. And, Bradders will have to back out as Maxi gets the better exit. And he will come back through wheel to wheel once more as we go down towards turn 11. And it is Bradders that goes in front of the Williams. He has a little snap, but Maxi too far behind. There goes Darryl Slater on Finnick. The Red Bull on the other Williams as well, going up towards turn 13. Wheel to wheel, side by side, go the Red Bull and the Williams. Ryan Dipavine, 8 tenths clear. What about Fanfurness on the back of his teammate? No love lost, it seems, in that Maranello garage. So we head down towards turn 1. Fanfurness into the slipstream of his Ferrari teammate. And is he close enough? He's not. He just backs out for now. B-Ray half a second behind. Jeffy goes through on his teammate and up the inside of that Red Bull driver of Finnick. They both leave each other the room. Absolutely gorgeous racing by the pair of them. Well Sponge is through on Banana. Banana in the Alpine comes to the left-hand side to try and make the move up towards turn 4. We go the Alpine and the Racing Bull wheel to wheel, but the Racing Bull will have the inside line coming out of turn 4. Gets a better exit and through he goes. And Epic OJ has been overtaken by his teammate of Fanfurness. Was that tactical, or was Fanfurness just saying, no, give me that position? I'm a full-time driver here, and you owe me this. B right in the Aston Martin. I'm sure Fanfurness will be saying to Epic OJ, please hold him up for the sake of these extra points, for the sake of me leading the championship. Actually, I think that's in realistic Fanfurness leading the championship, is it? Or is it Tier 1? I'll have to check. Well Sponge looking up the inside of Daki, who's had a phenomenal race start, up to P13 already. So, mediums for all the drivers, barring Finnick and the two Saubers on the hards. Malk and Twitch Capsule also on the hards. Interesting stuff here. So Ryan Darvavine and the other drivers will get DRS now. So Fanfrena's closing the gap, but not close enough to make anything matter. And B right is there. Lewis W. There goes Mitch on Maxi. The Haas driver up the inside. What a move. That is by Mitch in the Haas. There goes Daki on beyond. Wheel to wheel once more. Go the Kick Sauber and the Haas. And look at these two. One from South Korea, one from the Netherlands, but inches away on track. And the Kick Sauber goes back down the inside. The Haas will have to move out the way. The two Williams drivers are scrapping it out. And that is Daryl Slater through on Maxi. So the Williams drivers swap positions on lap 3 of this sprint race. Bradders needs to get back within DRS range, and that is Banana in the Alpine that's had a moment. And Twitch Caxel and Asbill are through on the Scotsman. Down towards turn 10 we go. Fanfrena's still chasing down Ryan Dijpaveen. Not something we thought we would hear in season 11. Epic OJ, B right, Lewis W. Bradders needs to get back within that DRS range. He's 1.5 seconds behind. He's going to be wide open to mix behind if he doesn't creep back in within that 1 second. So let's see what he can do. So Fanfrena's 0.5 second behind Ryan Dijpaveen. Down towards turn 1. He's got the DRS, but he's not close enough. But B right is. Is he going to go round the outside and switch it back up the inside? He tries to. There goes Mitch on Bradders. And he does get the move done with that DRS enabled. Bradders gets a better exit out of turn 2 though. But none of them have got DRS, it looks like. That's strange. Unless he didn't open it. Didn't want to go for the overtake, I suppose. Banana is in the pit lane. Here comes Welsh Sponge on Daki. Banter Brandon. All 20 drivers still in this race and still within a chance of points. 4 laps down in this sprint. This is incredible racing. Fanfrena still trailing Ryan Dijpaveen. He's got to be patient here. So, the two Ferraris, B right. This is only the sprint race. We've got the feature race to come yet. What about Bjorn on Finnick? Remember, he will be a sitting duck and the Kick Sauber. Bradders has left the session. You're kidding. There goes Daryl Slater through on Bradders. He's not even online. And there goes Maxi through as well. As he starts tumbling down, and there goes Bjorn McQueen around the outside of the Red Bull of Finnick. Wow, that is entertainment at its finest. Bjorn McQueen, take a bow. Brilliant stuff. Daki from Finnick goes late, and now here comes Welsh Sponge. The two sister cars will be next to go at it. And that is Jeffy Boy also through. The Kick Sauber driver now up to P9, doubling his points. Welsh Sponge through on Finnick and Banter Brandon. I don't know what's going on there. Don't know if Finnick is starting to struggle, but he is on hard compound. I wouldn't see why he would be struggling. Don't worry, Bradders, just get back in as quick as possible. He's still in the points. There goes Finnick and Banter Brandon again. Up to P14 goes the Red Bull. Bjorn McQueen through on Bradders. Bjorn won this race last season in Tier 3, says Mad G. Epic OJ is nearly outside of the DRS range. He is outside of the DRS range. Here comes Fanfrenas, and this is for the lead of the sprint race. Ryan Dijpaveen just edges his nose in front, but now back comes Fanfrenas. gets into the slipstream of the Aston Martin. He'll get the DRS. Around the outside goes the Ferrari up towards turn 4. The Aston Martin will hold him off. Defensive racing. Absolute quality from the Aston Martin, wheel to wheel once more. The Ferrari is now just ahead. And he does get the move done, and into the lead of the Grand Prix goes the Scuderia. Brilliant stuff. What about Epic OJ? Because they've been battling, he is now right on the back of Ryan Dipavine as well. Does Fanfrenes start to push that Aston Martin into the back of Epic OJ? Try and help his teammate out here, do a Carlos Sainz. So we shall see. Lewis is still there. Do not count Lewis out. He is within a chance here. But he is on the mediums, as is all the front runners. So out of turn 15 again, down towards turn 1. Fanfrenes is your race leader. Here comes Ryan Dipavine. He's absolutely flying, but he's not going to be close enough. And Epic OJ, is he going to go for the move? Yellow flags. Finnick is around. Darrell Slater is from Mr. Williams on the Haas. Then comes GCL Maxi and the other Williams, watching his teammate making moves. Well, Sponges through on Daki, the Racing Bull. Malk is from Banter Brandon, but Banter Brandon will come back at him. The Mercedes on the McLaren. The Mercedes will try and switch it back up the inside, but he's behind the Papaya, and the AMG driver has got the straight line speed to battle with Malk. It's Netherlands versus England. Around turn 4 we go. Still they tangle. The McLaren has a moment. The Mercedes is through. So, still the top 4 separated by less than 2 seconds. Darrell Slater is now starting to catch up. What about Malk on Banter Brandon? And he had that DRS again. And this is a tasty little battle between the Mercedes and the McLaren. Remember, Banter Brandon, a 2-time world champion here in F7 for our realistic division. And Malk battling with him. So Fanfrenes leads on lap 8 of 10 of the sprint race. Ryan Dipavine goes deep. There goes Epic OJ. Is this his moment? The Aston team seems to be struggling. And here comes the Ferrari. Oh, Ryan Dipavine tried to block him up, but Epic OJ's now got the inside line going in towards turn 4. The Ferrari and the Aston slightly bang wheels, but it is the Scuderia that is up and is 1-2 Ferrari. Well, Sponge and Daki are going at it. And Daki is through and up to P11 from the back of this grid. Ferrari are looking very strong. Oh, Malk goes right down the inside of Welsh Sponge. And now he comes back at him. And that is a great move from Welsh Sponge, that. There goes Jeffy and Maxi. Oh, and I think Maxi was tagged there. Oh, and he's lost the rear. Into the wall goes Maxi. And that will be it for the sprint race for Maxi. He will still have the feature. You've got to feel for Maxi. He was having a really good debut. Here comes B-Right on Ryan Dipavine. Do they swap round? We shall see. And the 2 Ferraris are in that DRS train. They can really hold off the 2 Aston Martins here. The Ferraris have played this perfectly well to get into a 1-2 position as they were during qualifying. And then at the end of qualifying, it was Ferrari Aston. But now these 2 have done really well to just block off that attack. Here comes Daki. through on Malk, and now on the back of Welsh Sponge. He's had his Asbill through on his teammate. Malk, nothing he can do about that, but he will try and respond. Here comes Banter Brandon, the two papayas, no papayas rules here at Bahrain. That is Bradders through on Max, who's in the pit lane. So we are on the penultimate lap, ready to go on to the final lap. It is Ferrari 1-2, Aston 3-4. This is the battle that we have been waiting for here in Bahrain for round 7. That is Banter Brandon through on Asbill. One McLaren down, one to go for the Mercedes. So this is it, and I think Fanfurness might have to slow down here because Epic OJ got a really bad entrance into turn 15. Here comes Ryan in the Aston Martin. Here comes B Wright. They've used a lot of their battery. All of them, and Epic OJ is going for the lunge on his teammate. Epic OJ wants the sprint win. He is not bothered about constructors at this point. Here comes Epic OJ into the slipstream of his Dutch teammate. Is he going to go for that lunge? He's going to have to be patient. He's going to have to wait. And there goes Dackett on Welsh Sponge as well, trailing on the rear diffuser of that Racing Bull in front. 2/10 of a second, and Epic OJ's lunged through on Fanfurness. The two Ferraris come to blows. Here comes Fanfurness down towards turn 10 we go. Wheel to wheel go the Scarlet Ferraris. They have a little snap. Here come the Aston Martins. Here comes Ryan. Epic OJ just edging ahead, but Fanfurness has got more straight line speed. Wheel to wheel, Fanfurness is through. Epic OJ is back down to P2. The Scuderias putting it all on the line on the final lap of this sprint race, and they are risking it all for one extra point. This is incredible. So down towards turn 15, Malk and Welsh Sponge, the McLaren and the Racing Bull. It is the Papaya that scrapes ahead. What about Ryan? He's 2/10 behind the two Ferraris coming down towards the line. He moves over to let the other Aston through. It's Fanfurness that wins the sprint. Epic OJ takes P2, B Ryan P3, Ryan Diverveen in P4. I love that from the Aston Martins. Welsh Sponge on the back of Banter Brandon as we go down towards the line. Can Malk get Dackett when that DRS kicks in? He's not going to, but what about Banter Brandon? Welsh Sponge, switch Caxel. And that is it for the sprint race. So Fanfurness wins the sprint race here in Bahrain. Sorry guys, 2 seconds. I need to put all the names in because it doesn't show up, so just bear with me. Fanfurness, Epic OJB, right. Oh Jesus. Ryan Daperveen. And then Jeffy Beyond, Daki, Welsh Sponge, Twitch Caxel. Avel, Malk, Banter Brandon, Bammy Back Brothers, Banana, and GCL. Sorry guys, I do like to go through the final standings at the end, but it's really hard because I need to get the names down on the app. So, we are on to qualifying. We can calm down a little bit after that sprint. So, Twix Caxel is the first driver out on track. So I will be down Milton Keynes again next week, guys. So if you are in the chat, I will not be available all week. During the day, at the night time, I might be a little bit more available, but not much. I am going to take my PlayStation and try and connect so I can join and do comms on Wednesday, but I won't be able to host the lobby. And also to do comms for PSGL tomorrow night. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm hoping the Wi-Fi is good enough in the hotel. So Twitch Caxel in towards turn 10, and when he's just on the throttle there, he's kicking the back end out a little bit because he's going too quickly down on that pedal. He just needs to let off a little bit, wait till the car just steadies ever so slightly longer, and then get the foot down, and he'll tend to get a better exit. I mean, I'm speaking like I'm bloody Jan or what mere here, but I'm nothing alike. So around turn 14 and 15, Twix Caxel down towards the line we go. So 130.0, that will not get him in the top 15. So Asbil and Mauk, Asbil is on a lap, getting a slipstream from his teammate, brilliant stuff. And Asbil a 128.7. Mad G, you know what, I am looking forward to Spa. I do like Spa, but I really need to get some practice in. Every single week, I wake up on the Sunday at like 7, 8, and then I practice on the Sunday morning before the race. So I never get like a full proper practice session in. Just with work and everything that's going on at the moment. So I'm hoping once, because this is the last time I go down to Milton Keynes. Well, I go down the week after for one night, but I'm hoping, yeah, this is it, and I can sort of concentrate on the game a little bit more and enjoy it. I've not enjoyed it yet. Like, I've not just sat down and raced and done a career mode or done a couple of open lobbies or, you know, done a few different league races. I've just not done anything yet. It's just all been admin stuff and graphics and, you know, league stuff and emails and everything. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Spa, to the end of your question. What about you? Asbil on provisional pole. Brothers in P2, 128.8, learning no ABS, but I'm back at 128.9. The other McLaren of Mount Demuted coming through. Out of turn 15. And the Papaya driver down to the line, and he goes up to P4, 128.9. It's extremely close at the moment. No drivers on laps. Darryl Slater is coming around. So is Jeffy Boy. Maxi in the Williams. If you get a decent setup, Maggie, send it me and I'll upload it as like so I uploaded one that Ben sent me, and I put it as Champions Edition, and I'll do the same with yours because obviously you're a former champion. So yeah, if you get a decent setup that doesn't lose the back end or anything, shoot it over to me. Viabi, don't even sweat it, mate. You're on a different time zone, a different part of the planet, don't even worry. So GCL Maxi coming down in towards turn 8, and then slightly uphill over the hump, and then down towards turn 9 and 10. A really tricky part of the circuit. Does not want to lose them back ends. So down the RS straight towards turn 11 in that Williams. And then swings the car into the left-hand side. Slight snap of the rears, but not too much. Kept it under control really nicely. And then in towards turn 13 for the Williams driver. He had a great start to the sprint race. His debut went really well. GCL Maxi in the Williams coming down towards turn 14 and 15. You can see him edging the car out to the left-hand side so he can dive in to that chicane down towards the start-finish line. This is going to be provisional pole for Maxi. It's a 1:27.4. Yeah, don't worry, Maxi, you're all good. Here comes Darrell Slater in the other Williams. His teammate is on pole and he joins him on the front row. 1-2. What about Welsh Spongy's just starting his flying lap? Then we have the Haas of Mitch as well. Sorry, that's Daki. Ryan Dapavine in the Aston Martin. He started in P2 for the sprint race. He led his teammate through and finished in P4. His teammate picking up an extra point. So Ryan Dapavine. Guys, let me know as well because I'm not using the same mic if it's okay, if it's too loud and whatnot. Just let me know. So, the Aston Martin of Ryan Dapavine out of turn 13 down towards turn 14. Matt G, yeah, looking at consistency, it just shows it all, doesn't it? That with age comes consistency, because your dad, Super Skills, Nimble Cat, and somebody else was like top 5 of consistency, and it just showed really. Ryan Dapavine up to P1, a 1:27.0, and it is provisional pole. So the Aston Martin driver goes fastest once more. And what about Mitch in the Haas? He's coming through to the line. No, that was Daki up to P5. Mitch has invalidated it. Welsh Sponge also invalidated it. So the drivers are really pushing out. Oh, Fanfulness has been blocked by Daki on his flying lap, and he will be fuming about that one. Sorry, somebody really. So, Epic OJ coming down towards the line. His teammate's currently in P2, and Epic OJ takes it away from him by less than a tenth of a second. So it's Ferrari 2-3, Aston in P1. It is deja vu from the sprint race. Banter Brandon in P20 has just been given slipstream by his teammate Twitch Caxel. What about Bjorn McQueen? He's invalidated it, and Lewis W goes up to P5. So be right in the Aston Martin, coming around turn 12 and 13 now. Purple sector 2 for the Aston Martin, keeps it valid on the limit there. 4B right. Down towards turn 14 and 15, dives into the chicane. This looks like a really good lap. 4B right, down towards the line we go. Is he going to go fastest? He goes P3. It is Aston Ferrari. In the sprint race, it was Ferrari, Aston. Wow. It is so close. Maxi in P5. Looks like they want to try and challenge these two duos. Banana in the Alpine in P8. Great lap from the Scotsman. Asbill in the McLaren in P11. Banner Brandon in P14. What about Bjorn McQueen? What about Mitch? Still in the pit lane. 5.5 minutes to go here in Bahrain for round 7. Remember, Spa Francorchamps, I think that's how you say it, is next week, round 8 here at Formula 7 Racing. There's some exciting news coming with Formula 7 Racing. We have been putting in the effort. The team have been putting in the effort. We've been going through applications to get new members involved in the team. We've been emailing new sponsors to try and get them on board. We have been putting in so many hours of graft to update all of our graphics and all of our standings and all of our divisions, and yeah, it's really kicking off. We've got some amazing people in this community, but we don't want to lose that community feel about Formula 7 Racing. It's really important that we keep that community family feel of Formula 7 Racing. So Bjorn McQueen up to P14. Darryl Slater is the next driver out. So I hope you will all enjoy the news that will follow in the coming weeks. I think what somebody mentioned it before, but it's something that we've discussed a few times about doing like a podcast after the races have ended on a Sunday and just going over the races, but we'll see, and then obviously bringing that back in the coming months. Oh, Darryl Slater with a huge snap out of turn 4 there. That might be costly, but he's got to keep going. So Mitch, the only driver yet to settle up, is still out. Finnick is DNF in qualifying. So let's see if Darryl Slater can get some improvement even after that snap in sector 1. Down towards turn 11. Yeah, there is a few quick ones, Mad G and Tier 3. We've been obviously discussing Edward for quite a few weeks. We know he's quick. We are watching him. But we have to make sure that we're making the right decision. So Darryl Slater has backed out. Has he got enough time to go in and get back out? The driver that raced today, Sea-Dog, he will obviously go up to Tier 2. Oh, sorry. Wow, Darryl Slater diving into the pit lane there. By me back in, the Red Bull is on a lap. So, coming up towards turn 4. Yeah, the Alpines look quick. I mean, one of the Alpines definitely, but the other Alpine is probably... I mean, you're going to have somebody at the top of Tier 3, and I think he just about fits in with them times. But Edward, I think, is... I mean, when you're qualifying, I think, what, 5 tenths quicker than everybody else? That is... Or 3 tenths. But then his times are... His times like mid-Tier 2. So, yellow flags waving, that'll just be drivers slowing down to let the other drivers through. Hopefully nobody hinders each other on these final runs. All the drivers are back out, Barry Maxey and Darryl Slater. They're leaving it very late. And by me back in the Red Bull, coming down towards turn 14 as the Ferrari moves out of the way. And the Red Bull driver coming out of turn 15. And look at this. The cheeky Ferrari knows that he's got to get to the line. goes up to P16, and the Ferrari driver gets a huge toe. That was a cheeky little slipstream from Epic OJ. He knew the Red Bull had to go down to the line, and that was very clever. So Epic OJ will go first of the final runners here at the end of qualifying for the feature race. Yeah, it's really close. So Epic OJ already a 10th up on his lap time. In towards turn 8, around the hairpin, back up the hill, and then back down the hill towards turn 9 and 10. Slams on that brake pedal. That was an amazing entrance into turn 10. That DRS will be enabled. The Ferrari rear wing opening, giving him that extra bit of horsepower as we go down towards turn 11. Slams the car to the left hand side. That G-force at maximum capacity as we go around turn 12 and in towards turn 13. He'll move out to the left hand side. He's 2.5 tenths up. This is provisional pole time. This is pole position time. Out of turn 13, down towards turn 14 for the Scarlet Ferrari. And this is the final corner for the Scuderia. Around turn 15, down towards the line. Here comes Epic OJ with an epic lap. And it is provisional pole with a 1:26.9. Then comes Bayern back. He goes into the pit lane. The Mercedes will be next. That is Banter Brandon. He is also slightly up on his lap time. Can anybody challenge Epic OJ in that Ferrari with a 1:26.9? The checkered flag has waved here in Bahrain. We've already had the sprint race. It was Ferrari Aston on the two front rows. Here comes Banter Brandon in the Mercedes. A Haas is behind him. Then comes an Aston Martin. Banter Brandon goes to the line, goes up to P12. And now here comes the Haas driver, and the Aston Martin will go on board with Ryan Dijkhoff, who's slightly up on his lap time. It's not going to be enough to touch Epic OJ unless he has a great sector 3. Ryan Dijkhoff, the Dutchman, to the line. What about B. Ryan Fanfurness? Here comes Fanfurness. Fanfurness has invalidated it. So he's going to start in P4. Here comes Max. We've got a couple of drivers coming down towards the line. Jeffy Boy has invalidated it as well. Here comes Welsh Sponge up to P13. And Malk as well, but we go on board with B right. He is improving. Is it enough to get close to Epic OJ? He'll probably be enough to get in front of his teammate. B right to the line, goes up to P2. This is so close. Darrell Slater in the Williams slides through the line. Here comes Asbill. He's well down on his lap time. That is it. Epic OJ takes pole position again. And it's Francorchamps. So Epic OJ takes pole position here in the feature for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Let me just write that down. It is B right in P2, Ryan Dijkhoff in P3. So the Astons and the Ferraris lock out the two front rows once again, but in a different order this time. Then comes Maxi, Bjorn McQueen, Lewis W, Deco, Mitch, Banana, Jeffy Boy, Abil. Then comes Twitch, Caxel, Welsh, Sponge, Bradders, Malk, Banter Brandon, Daki, Bamivak and Finnick in your top 20 drivers here in Tier 1. So guys, buckle up, because this is a race you are not going to want to miss. We've seen the sprint race. All 20 drivers are battling so closely. And if the feature race is anything to go by, if the sprint race, sorry, is anything to go by, the feature will be 10 times better. The drivers will battle hard in this feature. So many more points up for grabs. Remember, points go down to P15 now. P1 takes away 30 points from the Grand Prix. P2, 25 all the way down to P15, who takes away a point. It has really opened up the championship, opened up the constructors. It has done exactly what we wanted it to do, and it's given everybody opportunities, and it's brought every championship in all the tiers so much closer. I'm back struggling on my front wing. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what the strategy is of the Aston Martins this time round. We've already seen them go once on the sprint race. I know Finnick's having a hard time in Tier 1 at the moment. Well, not with himself, but with other drivers. He's been involved in a lot of incidents that were not his fault. What's good as well is that now that we clip straight from Twitch, we're able to share so much more content of you guys racing. I used to pay for CapCut, download all the clips by screen recording every stream. After the race had finished, I would watch the stream back, which I still do sometimes now. Screen record it all, then clip it all, then go onto CapCut, then turn it into high definition, then export it, and then put it onto all the platforms individually. Well, now you can just clip it on Twitch, and it renders in high definition, and you can upload it straight to YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, the lot. So it's really saved us so much time. A lot of our time went on social medias and content creating for the league. Now we're able to diverse that time into other things with the league as well, which is just brilliant for us. And we've edited it as well, so you can sort of see the grid as well as the race at the same time, which I think is good. So here we go. Remember, we like to thank our sponsors, Rock Solid Rigs and F1 Neon Tracks, our partner leagues as well, over at MSC, GXRS, who are currently not racing at the moment. But here we go for Formula 7 racing, round 7 here in Bahrain for the feature race. Here we go. The drivers are ready. The cars are ready. Are you at home ready? It is lights out and away we go. B-Right got a really good start. Epic OJ is already trying to cover him off as he comes over to the right-hand side. The Ferrari and the Aston wheel to wheel. B-Right, the Ferrari goes deep, and now here comes Ryan Dampavine. The two Aston Martins, one of them already into the lead of the Grand Prix. Down out of turn 3 towards turn 4 we go. Yellow flags are waving. Lewis W is down 2 places in the Alpine. He's being swallowed up, and that is a Racing Bull going raging through. And Fanfurness is back through on the Aston Martin driver. And the two Ferraris are P2 and P3, but it's B-Right who's now your leader. Maxi in P5, Bjorn McQueen in P6. Here comes Darrell Slater. Here comes Banana with a late lunge in the Alpine. Jeffrey Boy in the Kick Sauber is through on Mitch. Here comes Bjorn versus Banana. The Netherlands versus Scotland. The Alpine is there. Oh, Banana around the outside of the Kick Sauber, and it's Maxi that has a huge snap and loses the position to Banana and Bjorn, and Maxi is down to P7. Yellow flags waving for Lewis W. Welsh sponges through around the outside of the Kick Sauber, but Lewis W. in the Alpine, does he have damage? He doesn't, but he is down to P20. So by me back through on Asbil, Welsh Sponge through on Mitch. Mitch going off the track there. Brothers, this is Mitch and Welsh Sponge going at it on. The Williams just clattered into Jeffy Boy there. That was Darrell Slater. And Darrell Slater being pushed off the track, B-Right into the lead. Here comes Fanfurness on Epic OJ. The two Ferraris, they won't have DRS, so they'll not be able to catch up to the Aston Martin just yet. And the two Ferraris starting as they left it off in the sprint race. Banana up to P5. What a start for him. Here comes Bradders. Switches it back up the inside of his Racing Bull teammate. And they go side by side up towards turn 4. And it is Bradders that is through and up to P10. There goes Banner, Brandon and Malk in the Mercedes and the McLaren. Malk in the Papaya trying to get through. But the Mercedes says, no, thank you. I will keep that position. So all the drivers still in the race. Banana is a second behind. Asbill is through. Lewis W through on Finnick. Asbill through on Twitch Caxel. What about Fanfinus with that DRS enabled? The Ferrari of Fanfinus back to the front of this Grand Prix. Epic OJ, who started on pole position, is down to P3. Fanfinus, remember, is on the medium, so he is going to be a lot quicker at the start of this race. The longer that B Wright can stay with him, the better it is in the long run for B Wright's race. Ryan Divine is there. Banana just trying to stay within DRS range. That is Dackett on Malk, the Haas driver, through on the McLaren as they go slightly downhill towards turn 14. So Fanfinus setting the fastest lap. And here comes B Wright in the Aston Martin. And the lead changes hands once again. And that is Fanfinus and tries to lunge back up the inside. Oh, and he has a snap of the rears. And here comes Epic OJ, but he's ghosted. Had he not have ghosted there, he would have took out his teammate. Wow. The Ferraris were very lucky to get away with that one. Some great aerial shots of the race here. Aston Martin to the two Ferraris, to the Aston Martin. The All McQueen in the Sauber. What a race he is having. Into P5 for the Kick Sauber. Banana as well. Maxi in the Williams, taking out the Bollard. DRS all the way down, pretty much to P20 at this moment, with a bit of iffy ones in between. But yeah, this is fantastic stuff. All 20 drivers. This is what racing is supposed to be. This is what racing is supposed to look like. And this is what Formula 7 represents. Brilliant stuff. So here comes Fanfinus once again into the slipstream of the Aston Martin. Is he going to go for it? Of course he is. Fanfinus back into the lead. Is B Wright going to try the old switcheroo in towards turn 1 and 2? The Ferrari gets a decent exit though. Remember, he's on their medium compound tyres, but the DRS is now reversed and B Wright will just stick with him. Epic OJ nearly a second behind them as Ryan tries to chase him down. What about Bradders on the back of Darrell Slater? He goes later on the brakes, nearly clatters into the back of the Williams, goes up the inside but has that snap of the rears. I think that all the drivers are really struggling with the rear tyre temperatures. So that is Twitch Caxel that is through on Buy Me Back, who is off the track, and Lewis W also goes through. So be right back through on Fanfinus, the Aston Martin driver. It is literally tit for tat every lap. But remember, Fanfinus is on a different strategy to these drivers. He's on the medium, so he'll have to be a bit more careful. 5 laps in, the medium compound should be the tyre to sort of get away from these hard runners. But he's not been able to due to the DRS. Buy Me Back on the back of Twitch Caxel, Malk on the back of Dackett, but he's not able to get through this time. Oh, and that is Banner Brandon that is round onto the gravel. Goes the Mercedes driver, picks up a time penalty and spins it as well. So not great for Banter Brandon, but still 24 laps remaining here in Bahrain. Banana has lost the DRS to Bjorn McQueen in front, and that gives Maxi a great opportunity to get this move done and dusted on the Alpine. Also, Jeffy Boy is there. And that is Fanfrenes once again. Look how close he is to be right. I'm surprised the race is so bright. I'm sure it'll get dark throughout though, but here comes Fanfrenes, and he's not able to catch up this time, even with DRS. And that is Maxi from Banana, and Banana will go later on the brakes and tries to turn in a little bit too early. Clatters into the Williams driver, and now the Williams has Jeffy Boy all over the back of him, and that is Banter Brandon out. Mitch picks up a 3-second time penalty. Here comes Jeffy Boy. He'll go later on the brakes up the inside. Maxi leaves him the space. Great racing from Maxi, but the other drivers being overly aggressive there, especially the Alpine. So down towards turn 8 we go, and as these 5 drivers maybe continue to battle, they will lose time to the drivers in front. Darrell Slater is throwing his teammates and maybe a few team orders, and what is Bradders doing there? Oh, how's he pulled that to a stop? I tell you what, if that's anybody else other than Maxi, Bradders might have been out of this race. That was a really ambitious dive from Bradders there on Maxi. I'm not sure why he needed to go for it at that moment. But fair play to Maxi for giving him the room that he probably didn't deserve. Oh, well, Sponge has done the same thing. Jesus. Maxi has now lost the rears and he's down to P12. Guys, come on. That's a bit ridiculous how you're all just lunging on him like that. So here comes Mitch on the back of Wells Sponge. So Daki in the Haas is into the pit lane. So he's going for the undercut. There goes Jeffy Boy on Banana, and the kick Sauber is through. Banana down to P7. Well, Sponge on the back of Mitch. Maxi picks up a 3-second time penalty, but he's still in P12, and he'll make the move back on Well Sponge and back through on the Racing Bull. So Banana, the 2 Saubers in P5 and P6. These 2 are on for some decent points here. That is Darrell Slater and Banana, who are well known to each other. And the Williams is through on the Alpine and up to P7, and he's still within DRS of Jeffy Boy. The leaders have just calmed down a little bit now, just giving us a break. What about Malk on Well Sponge? The McLaren on the Kick Sauber. And here comes Fanfrenes once again in that DRS range. That rear wing wide open, and it'll start to come like a train. And be right, he's staying ahead again. So this is either strategic from Fanfrenes. That is Maxi that is through on Mitch. Wheel to wheel go the Williams and the Haas. Maxi is there. They touch gloves. They are both off onto the gravel. Oh, wow. Maxi is through. Maxi, and he's having to let him back through. And Malk obviously pounces on the opportunity. Goes up the inside. Clatters in to Mitch. Malk. Definitely an audacious overtake there from Malk, and he takes out Mitch in the Haas. Luckily, he's still within DRS range of this train. Both Mercedes are out. Twitch Caxel and Banter Brandon out of the Bahrain Grand Prix. So yellow flags are waving, and that is, I think it's Finnick slowing down. And that is Welsh Sponge and Bradders, the two RBs, changing places. Yeah, Adam. That is Malk through on Bradders. As Bradders lost time here, as he lost. So back onto the Papaya goes the Racing Bull. Moves over to the right-hand side. And wow, he moved over too early and nearly smashed into the McLaren. Oh my God. Malk is back through and Maxi spun it. Why is the Racing Bull going so slowly there? Maxi is out. You know what, at that point, I know he's just retired on track, but I don't really blame him. Brad has just slowed down into the corner so he could go into the pit lane. That is a crazy place to pull your car up. So, Jeffy Boy around the outside of Daryl Slater. So, how are you typing and racing? So, Daryl Slater, Banana, Welsh Sponge, Malk. Malk been involved in a few of the battles here this evening already. 20 laps to go. So B-Right leads Epic OJ in P2. Fanfinis down to P3. Remember, Fanfinis on their medium compound tyres. They are now starting to fall off. And Ryan, this is where he needs to use them hard compounds to get past the Ferrari driver. B-Right 8 tenths clear of the other Scuderia. Bjorn doing a fantastic job. He is in P5, his teammate in P6. But here comes Daryl Slater in the Williams. Banana doing a cracking job as well. Here comes Malk on Welsh Sponge. But none of the drivers are close enough just yet. Fanfinis is into the pit lane. We knew their mediums were falling off and he's going for the undercut. Here comes Daryl Slater on Jeffy Boy, the Williams driver, into the slipstream with that DRS wide open. He'll move over to the right-hand side. And Daryl Slater going down in towards turn one. Later on the brakes, tries to pull it to a stop. And he can't, and he slides off the track. And the Sauber is through and takes back P5. Mitch is out of the Grand Prix. So Daryl Slater went for the move, couldn't pull it off. Asbill is through on his teammate. They have Lewis W trying to make moves as well. The Alpine driver through on Malk and up to P10. So 4 DNFs. Bradders 5 makes it 5. Bradders is out. Yeah, there we go. Epic OJ, half a second behind B-Right still. You know, when there's 19 laps to go, I mean, there's a long way to go. I mean, Bradders, you have just took ABS off, haven't you? So you're gonna struggle with the race. So can Epic OJ get close enough? He can't. What about Asbel and Welsh Sponge? Yeah, Bradders, it looked like you slowed down into the final corner and then people came smashing into it. That's what it looked like. Well, Sponge, a 10-second time penalty for speeding into the pit lane. He'll have to get that going on his second pit stop. That is a really tough one to take, that. Yeah, there's a few silly moves tonight, to be honest. Some of the racing's been amazing, but some of it has been wow. Like, people are just rushing the moves and trying to dive bomb and lunge up the inside just to try and get the move done. If it's like, you know, I need to get it done or else I'll die or something. You know, that's what they race like sometimes. It's a bit frustrating. But that's what you get at the very, very top. The drivers are really competitive, maybe too competitive if you ask me. Oh, it was definitely a dive bomb, yeah. Well spun, you fix up another 3-second time penalty. Oh, it wasn't a dive bomb. Yeah, I don't know if he went wide, mate. We were on board with it. He was just keeping his line. He went wide to go into the corner because you have to take that corner wide going into turn 10, obviously. And then usually like, poof, straight up the inside. Here comes Lewis on Asville. And Lewis in the Alpine up to P6. Where has he come from? P20 was at the end of the first lap. Yeah, it's all good, mate. It is what it is. The stewards will handle it. I don't deal with any incidents, mate. Nothing. So, B Wright and Epic OJ. Ryan Divine still there. Lewis W now starting to make some ground up. And buy me back into the pit lane. The interesting one is to see where Fanfnis will come out. As he has gone for that undercut, but he's gone for the double medium. That is an interesting strategy. That means Fanfnis will have to pit again. This actually could be a very good strategy from Fanfnis. Because he's got to pit again. So he's going medium. Sorry. He's going medium, but he's going to undercut the drivers both times he does mediums. Unless they're going for the one stopper. Ryan Davini's into the pit lane on the hard. Oh, what? What's he done? He's gone into the pit lane from P3 and retired his car. Oh, no. Ryan Davini was on for some great points here for the Aston Martin team. B. Wright is now left alone to battle two Ferraris. So Fanfnis on the back of Asville. And he'll have to make light work of these. He will not want to lose time. Here comes the Ferrari free wide with the Alpine and the McLaren. Fanfnis will have to try and stay away from the Papaya car. Pushes him out wide. Fanfnis is through and up to P5. Bjorn is on for a podium. So Fanfnis absolutely flying now. What about Epic OJ? So Bjorn 10 seconds behind Lewis W. There's been a lot of DNS, but no real collisions, which is a bit silly. Here comes Epic OJ. Are any of these going to pit? No, they are going for the one stopper, but they're going to have to swap to mediums. So it doesn't make any sense to go for the one stopper unless they're going to go really long on the hards, to which point Fanfnis might have caught up to them. So Epic OJ 2 tenths behind B. Wright. Daryl Slater all over the back of Jeffy Boy as well. And he loses the back end, the Williams driver, and that has happened all night long. The drivers, and there goes Epic OJ, wheel to wheel, go the Ferrari and the Aston Martin for the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Epic OJ is through, going into turn 5, 6 and 7, and B-Right and the Aston Martin will not want to lose too much time here. A little snap from Epic OJ. Can B-Right get back that position, or is he going to wait for the DRS? He is going to wait. Down in towards turn 10. If these two continue to battle, it's all great for Fanfnis, and I think that is what Epic OJ is thinking. And B Wright, now without a teammate, has to contend with both Ferraris working together. So B Wright will be patient. Does he just pit now, go double mediums or double softs and get off this strategy away from this Ferrari? I think if B-Wright had a race engineer here now, it would be really interesting. I think Epic OJ was thinking about how to work this. Now here comes B-Wright with that DRS. And he will make the move look easy. B-Wright moves to the right-hand side, and the Aston Martin. Anything you can do, Epic, I can do as well. And the Aston Martin back into the lead. Jeffy Boy, Daryl Slater, Fanfnis into 5 seconds of clean air that he can race into. As the night begins to set, 14 laps remaining. We are riding on board with the 2 race leaders. We have had 6 DNFs, but I've got to be honest, they didn't really need to be DNFs. There was never really a big collision. You see Lewis, he went down to P20 at the start of this Grand Prix. He's now up to P7. Granted, he's still got a pit. So, Epic OJ. Is Epic OJ starting to lose a little bit of pace to the Aston Martin? Bjorn could be on for a podium, absolutely. He's in a great position for it. But he will need something to happen between Epic, B. Wright and Fanfinus. But he's racing into 7.5 seconds of clear air with everybody in front of him needing to pit barring Fanfinus. So here comes Epic OJ, moves to the right-hand side. He's going to leave it late, but he is going to go for the move. Be right, and he loses the back end again. Every time Epic OJ goes in towards turn 1, his rears slip out, and then these continue to battle, and the drivers behind continue to get closer. This will be costing them so much time. If I was these two, I would be like, right, listen, I don't want to battle you. You go ahead, I'll go ahead. But then you've got to think about Epic OJ. He's also helping his teammate out here of Fanfinus, who has pitted, and he's on the undercut strategy and on the 2-stop strategy. He's got mediums. He's still got a pit again yet, Fanfinus. And he's still 14 seconds behind these two. But these two will continue to get slower and slower. We know the hards are on around 70% tyre wear at this point. I'll be surprised if we don't see a puncher at some point. I mean, Darrell Slater 76% on his tyres. So B Right comes around turn 13 in P2 this time. Surely they've got a pit, but the mediums I don't think will go to the end. Kev, I don't know, 6 people out, but they were all in the pit lane. I think Maxi is the only one I've sort of agreed with. Oh, B Right peels off. Cheeky little peel off from B Right. Into the pit lane he goes. Epic OJ stays out. Jeffy Boy also stays out. Darrell Slater is in. Yep, he pits to get off them really old hards, and he'll go for the undercut. Here comes Fanfinus. So where does Fanfinus come out in terms of B Right? Fanfinus, you know what? Fanfinus is not going to be that far ahead of B Right, but here comes Asbil, who also stays out, and now B Right has got to contend with one of these drivers. Lewis and Darrell Slater are both into the pit lane. Well, Sponge picks up a time penalty. Banana Ram, remember, every single driver who finishes this race now will get points. So Jeffy Boy on them hard, 73% worn. I think he's worried about going till the end on mediums. Epic OJ will find himself behind B Right, I'm sure of it, unless B Right gets stuck behind Asbil. He'll have to get him on this DRS straight as quickly as possible, as safely as possible. There goes Banana on Dackett from Scotland to South Korea. Only one coming out on top, and that was the Scotsman. So here comes B Right on Asbil. He'll get his foot down early. He'll use that DRS, but he cannot. He should have just emptied the tank there. It's going to cost him so much time staying behind the McLaren, especially if he's going for the undercut. If Epic OJ comes into the pit lane now, this is going to be really close. He does come into the pit lane, and B Right stuck behind Asbil. I think this is really bad news for him. Epic OJ's in the pit lane. Here comes B Right. He's going to wait for the DRS straight now, though. He can't go past him now. And Asbil knows that. And in towards the final corner. Look how much time he's losing. Fanfinus is through on his teammate. Epic OJ is already on his way out of the pit lane. And B Right, I tell you what, this is going to be very close. The Aston Martin driver is coming. Here comes Epic OJ. Here comes the Aston Martin. And the Aston Martin of B Right comes out in front of the Ferrari. And Epic OJ will be behind Asbil. And he'll have to do everything that B Right just done. Jeffy Boy is into the pit lane in that kick Sauber. Bjorn is up to P5. Darrell Slater Slater comes out wheel to wheel with Jeffy Boy, the Williams, and the Sauber, and it is the Williams that comes out just in front of the Sauber. Oh, nice Banana into the pit. Well, there's a safety car. There is a safety car. Banana crashes into the wall. Behind me back picks up a time penalty. And well, Sponge has just pitted, but there is a safety car. I don't know how Banana crashed into the wall there. Just as the drivers pitted. And that means that Fanfurnist can get onto that final strategy, but he'll have to go on to the hards. What does this do for B Right and Epic OJ? Asbill, this is great for Asbill, who stayed out, and he's got the safety car. Yeah, this is not what Bjorn needed. Fanfurnist will go into the pit lane. This is not bad for B Right though. A safety car on their mediums will keep them a little bit fresher. But Epic OJ is a 1 lap fresher, and Fanfurnist is going to go into fresh, surely hard till the end of this race. Yeah. So Asbill does go into the pit lane. B Right and Epic OJ will both come out in front of Fanfurnist. This is going to be a close race, this. Bjorn pits again. Darryl Slater will stay out. Yeah, I'm not sure how Banana caused the safety car there, because he crashed straight onto the wall on the outside of turn 1. So where you're looking at now, on the outside over there. So I'm not sure how that was caused. Super Jack said I caused it. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, yeah, it's Sponge. Why, what happened, Sponge? Because we just clicked on board with Banana and he'd seen him in the wall. Are you kidding? Yeah, I'll need the POVs and everything. So, Darryl Slater is in P4, Jeffy in P5. I feel so sorry for Bjorn. He was in with a good chance for some, maybe even a podium here. Now down to P8, as that's really screwed him up. Yeah, Banana 2 weeks in a row. Took out straight line by Reese last week, straight lined by Sponge this week. So 10 laps remaining here in Bahrain. It's the first safety car of the day. In fact, it's the first yellow flag of the day. Lewis W is in the pits. He is only going to lose 2 positions though. Oh, maybe 3, because he'll come out behind me back. Finnick, who has stayed true to this race, is still in P13. Sorry guys, I'm a bit sniffly tonight. It's doing me head in. So B Right leads. Yeah, Kev, don't worry, mate. You're improving, that's all that matters, and as you begin to get a bit older and do more races, you get better and better. I really want to see one day for you to win a race. That is my F7 dream, to see you win a race here. When will the safety car come in? This is preserving the medium compounds. Panthers is going to be a lot slower than these. Especially off the start line. I think Daryl Slater, Jeffy Boy and Abzel will really go after Fanfulness on this restart. And that will be good news for B Right and Epic OJ. Safety car staying out again. I think it's because Finnick is not in his car, so he's not able to catch up in time. But we've had 7 DNFs, all of them in the pit lane, barring Welsh Sponge, who crossed into Banana. But we've seen some really cracking racing, to be honest. But then we've also seen some really poor racing. It's like 50-50, isn't it, when it comes to Tier 1? Like, you'll get some really good racecraft, but then a lot of times you'll get a lot of silly moves, and then one really good move, you know what I mean? So yeah, we'll see. So, the safety car should be in at the end of this lap. Yeah, that's true. That is actually very true, Adam. Like, if you pull off a great move, it's like, wow, what a move, what a great move. But then if you time it just wrong, or they just turn in, and you go clattering into them, it's like, what are you doing? But if you'd have pulled it off, it would have been great. So yeah, it is a very thin line. Well, that's why you see in Tier 2 and Tier 3, a lot of people don't take the risk of going across that line. Like, unless they know it's wide open, they'll go for it. And some drivers will chance it at times. But if they know that the move isn't on, they won't chance it. Whereas in Tier 1, they will chance it. And that's probably why they're Tier 1 drivers, but they will chance it at every opportunity. If they see a slight opening, they are going for it. So, on the race restart, and B Right will lead us underway as he still weaves left and right, and Epic OJ is there, and B Right gets going. A little snap from Epic OJ, and B Right will try and empty the tank here to stay in front. Banana is already through on Dackett. Epic OJ knows he needs to get through, and he's going for that late lunge on the Aston Martin, and he hits the side pod. I think B Right read it, he knew it was coming. Daryl Slater and Fanfulness were also going on it. Jeffy Boy, here comes Daryl Slater. Dacky picks up a time penalty. Epic OJ is going to go for another lunge. He does up to turn 3, and B Right calls it again. He knows what the Ferrari is going to do. Wow, and that was close to nearly ending in disaster. Jeffy Boy and Daryl Slater wheel to wheel go the Sauber and the Williams, and the green and the blue go side by side in towards turn 8. And off the track goes Daryl Slater. Asbill in the McLaren is there. They need to stop fighting with each other and chase down that Ferrari on the hard compounds in front. Yellow flags are waving once more. All the drivers locked in this DRS zone. Asbill with that time penalty. So is Dacky, Lewis W and Buy Me Back. So it'll be interesting to see what the drivers choose to do here. Remember, B Right and Epic OJ on the mediums. Fanfulness on the hards. Jeffy Boy on the mediums. Daryl Slater is there. Asbill, Dacky, Banana, Bjorn, Lewis W, Malk, and Buy Me Back, and then Finnick, who's not in the car. So, DRS is now enabled. This is where it starts to get dangerous. Late on the brakes goes Epic OJ. I think B Right's only opportunity here, well, he's probably got an opportunity to win the race, but I'm talking like he really needs these two Ferraris to start going at it, and I've got a feeling that they will. If B Right can keep Epic OJ behind him long enough, If I was being right, to be honest, I would start to try and back up Epic OJ into Fanfinus to stop him from getting that DRS and to let Fanfinus try and have a dig at him. We've seen it in the sprint. We've seen it at the start of the feature race. Martin, thank you so much. Reese, no, we didn't have him racing. So Epic OJ down the DRS straight, chasing down B right. Fanfinus in the other Ferrari. And it is very close. Whose race is this going to be? Is this going to turn out to be? So, Fanfinus and Epic OJ, and they will get DRS on B right. I tell you what, the two Ferraris could both possibly overtake the Aston Martin here. Epic OJ already using his battery. So here comes Epic OJ into the slipstream, DRS enabled, and the Ferrari will take the lead on lap 24. B right down to P2. Banana is through on Daki, the Alpine on the Haas, and that is somebody going wide. I think that was Bjorn. It's down to P10. That is Malk, who's losing a little bit of time behind. And here comes B right once again, all over the rear diffuser of the Ferrari of Epic OJ in front. No, Reese, he did not turn up. We just decided that tonight wasn't the time for him to race. So Epic OJ leads by 0.6 to B right. Fanfinus is all over the back of B right. Remember, Fanfinus on a different strategy to these drivers. Let's have a look. So it's all going to come down to the very final lap. I can see it already with that DRS, but we've seen it in Tier 2. The drivers were waiting for that DRS on the final lap, and they were never able to get it done. Here comes Bjorn and Lewis W, and the Alpine driver holding off the Kick Sauber, who just a couple of laps ago was fighting for a podium, and now down to P10 after that safety car, after Sponge murdering Banana in towards turn 1. Here comes Lewis W, Banana and Daki going wheel to wheel around turn 14 and 15. The Alpine holds on, and Daki is in an Alpine sandwich down out of turn 14 and 15 towards turn 1. They go 3 wide. Lewis W is through. Here comes Daki and Banana, and the Haas might even go for a move on the other Alpine, and he does. He clatters into Lewis W. And he just had to back out there. There goes Banana back up the inside and says, get away from my teammate, I'm coming through. And Banana will now even try and make a move on Lewis W. No, he backs out, but there goes Daki once more. Bjorn is watching all the action unfold and picks up the pieces. Thank you very much, he says. So Epic OJ back into the lead of the Grand Prix. Banana on the back of Daki. Bjorn up to P8. Lewis W now in a bit of space. What an amazing epic battle that was. And that is Banana back through on Daki. Daki will try the old switcheroo up turn 12. So what about B right into the slipstream, DRS enabled. The Aston Martin driver will go back into the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Lap 26 of 29. It is the Aston Martin that leads once again. There goes Daki on Banana. And Banana goes for the lunge on Daki, and then Malk and Banana tangle. And Malk in the McLaren picked up a time penalty for going off the track, and then behind me back is also catching up. Banana looks for a Daki move up the inside. It's getting very spicy between these two. So Bjorn McQueen is now 2.3 clear of Daki and Banana because of their own battling. Yeah, I can see a few reports coming in, but hey. So Fanfinus is on them hard compounds. He's going to start to feel the benefit of them tyres. Banana chasing Daki up towards turn 13. So we are back on board with the leaders. Here comes B Wright in the Aston Martin. Is he close enough this time? We do have Fanfinus absolutely barreling down towards turn 1. B Wright is being patient now. Oh, and that was Jeffy Boy that just clattered into the back of Fanfinus. Bjorn McQueen is through on Lewis W with that DRS enabled. Lewis will try and switch it back up. That is by me back up the inside of Malk. The McLaren will try and fend him off, and he does defend against the Red Bull. Fanfinus is getting extremely close to the Aston Martin now. I can see this being a really exciting ending to this Grand Prix. So, 13 drivers left on track, 7 DNF. All the DNFs pretty much in the pit lane. There's been no real big collisions on track. Fanfinus will start to feel the difference in them tyres. He will see Epic OJ and B Wright in front of him starting to lose traction, starting to slip out at the back end, starting to go slower out of the chicanes, and Fanfinus will be the complete opposite. And you can see already 0.2 of a second is the gap. Epic OJ and B Wright, and here comes Fanfinus. You can see every time he gets an exit, he's even closer. So we go on to the penultimate lap. Here comes B Wright to make the move on the Ferrari. Epic OJ has to concede and down to P2. What does Fanfinus do though? The two Ferraris battled at the end of the sprint really hard as well. They were battling. Lewis W through on Bjorn, and the Kicksauber will try and switch back. There goes Epic OJ back on B Wright, and the Ferrari into the lead on lap 28, and B Wright has to settle back in for P2. Bjorn McQueen is through on Lewis W once again. Malk on Buy Me Back, and Banana is through. That is Daki that is out, and he's crashed out. He's just near crashed into me. And B Wright on the penultimate lap in P2. You've got Fanfinus, Jeffy. Fanfinus has a little snap in the rears. Jeffy is there. Daryl Slayer, Asbill. Bjorn McQueen is on for a P6 finish potentially. Has B Wright been saving it all for this final moment? Epic OJ's got a lot of battery, so has B Wright. Fanfinus has got a little bit less. It needs to be now or never. Here we go, down towards turn 14 and 15. Epic OJ in front. The two championship rivals, B Wright and Fanfinus. They've got Epic OJ, the obstacle in front of him. It needs to be now or never. B Wright up the inside of Epic OJ, down towards turn 1. The Aston Martin driver put Epic OJ, lunges back on the inside. They do touch. Epic OJ switches back on the Aston Martin. A snap from the Aston Martin driver at B Wright. He tries to fend him off. Off the track goes Epic OJ, who picks up a time penalty. B Wright is just in front. They are scrapping, and they are scrapping hard. The Ferrari driver loses the rears. B Wright stays in front. His yellow flag's waving, and the three-time world champion showing his experience. Need to leave space there though, but we'll see it after the Grand Prix. Epic OJ will chase down B Wright to the very final end of this lap. Another loose rears of Epic OJ. Fanfinus is there. He wasn't able to close the gap even on them hards. So here comes B Wright in the Aston Martin. He leads to Epic OJ, to Fanfinus, to Jeffy Boy, all in your top 4. And Epic OJ, could he get him to the line? We shall see. But B Right comes through turn 14 and 15. The Aston Martin driver down to the line. He will come through to win here in Bahrain. Epic OJ Fanfitness takes P2. Jeffy Boy in P3 and on the podium. Yeah, we can only go off what we see on track. I'll have to leave the rest to the stewards. I don't get involved in any of the stewards stuff. Because I've learned over time to never really comment on stuff. You can have an opinion as you're watching the race, but don't really try to have an opinion on many things. There you have it. B Right on the top step. P2 for Fanfitness and P3 for Jeffy Boy. I think there'll be a few reports in that race. So there we have it. So let's go through the final grid standings. It is B Right that wins the race here in Bahrain. Fanfitness takes P2 and Jeffy Boy in P3. Epic OJ in P4 and then Daryl Slater in P5. And just putting them all into the standings. I think they're all in actually. Oh yeah, they've already updated, that's great. Okay, Asbill in P6, Bjorn McQueen in P7, Lewis W in P8, Banana in P9 and Mauk in P10. My driver of the day is going to go to Asbill. I think he has been absolutely brilliant in this race. Oh, it's Asbill, not Abil. I've put him in as Abil. But yeah, brilliant stuff, a great race. Just bear with me. Jeffy, well done. Jeffy, you went from P11 to a podium. It was a brilliant race, but I just think Asbill just drove a phenomenal drive, to be honest, mate. I think he did really well, especially in a tier 2 driver as well. But yeah, Jeffy, you could have got driver today easily. Yeah, Ryan, that was really unlucky from P3 on the grid to have to go in and retire. Really unfortunate. I will skip interviews only because I've got to go down to Milton Keynes in the morning and I've not got any of my suitcase packs or anything, guys. But thank you all so much for watching, and I hate skipping interviews though. But yeah, I've got to get everything ready. I've not packed anything yet for Milton Keynes. Right, thank you so much, guys. Have a great week. I will see you all for Realistic on Wednesday and then for the Spa Grand Prix on Sunday. Have a great week, everybody. I will, in fact, raid somebody whilst we're here. So whilst you're all here, we'll just jump on a raid. It just it gets our name out of there, doesn't it, at the end? So we will raid. Right, thanks guys, everybody take care and just jump on the raid for me as well. Really appreciate it, and have a great week.